Welcome everyone. How are you doing? I had a special request, and I've decided today make it happen. I have a lot of friends in the tech world, especially in Atlanta. And if you didn't know, you know, I've done a lot of great shows, and I've been a part of a lot of great concert in Atlanta. I mean, recently I've just done Chris Brown. He was here last week at Bobby Dobb Stadium, and that was one of the best things I've seen and for the year. And it is very important, to know that that's why, ladies and gentlemen, when it come down to showbiz, Atlanta is one of the best city, and this is the reason why we can wait for the World Cup. So, ladies and gentlemen, today's video is gonna be totally different from what I used to do, and I'm Haitian American. So, anytime I'm doing a show, I only speak the Haitian language. I mean, we call that the Creole, or sometimes speak a little French, sometimes speak a little English, and it depends what time it is. I might add a little Spanish. So, but today's video is gonna be totally different. Like as I said, I have some friends of mine talk to me about, hey man, why don't you do something about something? And ladies and gentlemen, and this something has a name. And what's the name of that something? Ladies and gentlemen, the Yolobox Extreme. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, the Yolobox Extreme is a video production device, and I do have it. I do have the device with me. And if you want to know the history of the company, the name of the company is Yololiv. So Yololiv makes Yolobox. Like we had the Yolobox Pro, the Yolobox Ultra, the Yolobox Mini. I think the Mini was the first one. Now we have the Yolobox Extreme. As the name, that word should mean something to you. Something extreme. Why that extreme? I don't know how to choose the name, but the Yolobox Extreme is very extreme. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we dive in, let me give you a little history about streaming, how we used to do streaming, or how a lot of people currently doing streaming. Some people, they start with the phone, the iPhone, like with the new iPhone 17 is out what now, where the Black Magic created the dongle for that's specifically, that's something they built for the new iPhone 17. So it's very nice. With the dongle, you can use a USB-C, and the dongle comes with the audio input and audio output. And also it comes with HDMI. So imagine, with the app, so you'll be able to use your iPhone 17, not just for the phone, but that phone can become a production. Again, a lot of people using a lot of software like vMix, okay? And unfortunately, vMix is only for PC. But also some people using Wirecast, what I'm using right now. Wirecast, it can be used for Mac or PC. Okay, there's a lot of software like StreamYard, and you name it. So why Yolobox is very important, and who should buy the Yolobox? And I'm going to give you the answer right away. The Yolobox Extreme, it's for everyone. If you like mobile, portable device like me, and especially if you travel a lot, a lot of times people do not understand, the less you can carry, the better. I mean, imagine you're going to do a show, and all you got to do just get a book bag, and inside of your book bag you have a thumb drive, or have one of them. It's always good to have a backup, and you have a device like Yolobox Extreme, okay, and you have for audio, for example, let's say you're going to do any interview, you have the Rodecaster Pro 2. Okay, and later on, I'm going to explain to you why the Rodecaster Pro 2 is very important, and some other devices might be able to do the same things I'm going to tell you. And let's say you have one or two camera, and of course, don't forget to bring the internet, your portable internet, like the T-Mobile home internet. It's always good to have your own instead of relying on other people's stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to HMI ATL Tech. And FYI, what does that mean, HMI? HMI stands for the Haitian music industry. Yes, I am Haitian American, and today is a very special day. That's why I'm only speak American English. Okay, I didn't say I'm only speak English. I say American English because the English we speak in this country is different from what they speak in UK. In UK, people say, I can't. I say, absolutely not. I can't. This is lovely. Okay. In America, we don't say, I can't. We say, I cannot. Hey, that's wonderful. That's great. Okay. So that is the difference. And my name is Wesley Matherin. So those who speak French. So as you can see, Wesley is different from the English version. The English one will be Wesley. Okay, mine is just Wesly. Matherin, French mean Mathurin. So if you just tune in, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget the best way you can support us. Give us a thumbs up. Let us know what can we do to bring more tech in this community. Since I live in Atlanta, and of course, when we talk about the HMI is not just Atlanta. HMI is New York City. HMI is Haiti. HMI is Florida, or little Haiti in Miami. But, I live in Atlanta, so it does make sense to promote, Atlanta tech. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's dive in. Okay, what is the Yolobox Extreme? So, the Yolobox Extreme is a video production device. And when we talk about video, in order for you to create video, okay, or you go to a conference or you go to like a local band. So what do you need? You need switcher, okay? But the switcher that's based on how many cameras you're going to use. But even if you're going to use one camera, you still need a switcher because most camera, when you're recording a content, okay, it's only 30 minutes. Most of them. Now things may change. Now, and I'm not going to lie to you. It's only 30 minutes. Now imagine if you have a camera, let's say you got an FX3 or Blackmagic, okay, and you just plug the camera to a switcher, and on the Blackmagic, all I got to do just press record, and this would allow me to record it as many minutes as I want to. Yeah, but the Blackmagic cannot do the playback. This is where the Yolobox Extreme or the Yolobox family comes in. So, like as I said, to do that, you need a switcher, you need a monitor, so you need to be able to see what you're doing. But like when you switch, okay, from camera 1, camera 2, and in most cases, you probably need 2 monitors, one for the multi-view. So if you get 3 or 4 cameras, one's for the program. All right. So you need monitor, you need switcher. What else you need? You need camera. Okay. That's a lot of stuff you have to carry. And in most cases, you also go into the laptop, like using a Blackmagic software. There are certain things you can do. So you have to get inside of software in order for you to get the image or the things you need to do. Or if you happen to bring your own lower third, which is Blackmagic cannot do. Now, that's a lot of information right here. You can always go back and watch the video again. So having said all of that, with the Yolobox family, and then when we talk about the Yolobox family, we talk about the Yolobox Mini, the Yolobox Pro, the Yolobox Ultra, and the latest one in the family, the Yolobox Extreme. You can do it all. God damn it. What did you just say, my friend? Can you repeat it again? With the Yolobox Extreme, you can do it all. And the best way I like to explain Yolobox Extreme, it's like going to Chipotle. Chipotle, yes. I mean, whether you like it or not, you go to Chipotle, they always start with the rice. From the rice, you go to the bean. From the bean, you go to the meat. Okay. If you want some grilled veggies, and you go to the cold side where you get the hot salsa, mild, you get the corn, lettuce, you get the guacamole, and so on and so on. So imagine what now, ladies and gentlemen, I can use a device like this where all I have to do, bring that device with a thumb drive. Okay, so I'm pretty sure you know what a thumb drive is. I don't have to explain to you what a thumb drive is. So the thumb drive, that's when you get your graphic, or that's when you get some images, okay, whatever you want to display throughout your streaming. So ladies and gentlemen, talking cheap, action speak louder than words. So here come the magic. See, this is the Yolobox Extreme. That's a big device. That's a big boy. Okay. The Yolobox Extreme running on Android software. Okay. Hopefully some days, they can make a phone call to Apple. Hey man, we want to have a Yolobox with the iOS software. So, ladies and gentlemen, one thing I want to explain, very important. Okay, let me take this one right here so you can see the full thing. One thing I like to explain, this device has been out for almost a year, so there are a lot of videos on YouTube. Mine is different. I'm not here to do any open box. I'm not here. I'm just going to give you the overview. Why should you use that device? Now, Frank Zoo, I know you're going to watch this video. And I make a lot of comments. So we have a whole community on Facebook. Now, when it comes down to the Yololiv, as a company, the Yolobox, okay? People always make a comment. Hey guys, I try to do this one doesn't work. So basically, it's a very well put together, okay, community. So if I have any issues, what now? All I gotta do is type something on Facebook. Before you know it, somebody say, hey, why don't you try this? Why don't you try this? So I think that's very important. And if you need some special feature, you can always request something. And the more people request that feature, and the Yololiv company would find a way to send a firmware update. I think that's very important, because a lot of device, to do the firmware update, you gotta just go to the company website. You gotta have a SD card to get that firmware to that SD card, put it in. That's a lot of bada boom, bada bang. But the Yololiv companies, the Yololiv company says, you know what? Things doesn't have to be so difficult. Let's find a way to get the firmware update the way we want it. So, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm going to explain what that device can do. Okay. So we start from the top. Okay. From the top, we talk about all the connection. So the Yolobox Extreme comes with 8 HDMI input, 2 HDMI output. Now, one of the beauty of this one, the first 3 HDMI, okay, happen to be 1080p. You can do 1080p 30, 1080p 60, 1080p. And the last, the 5 from 4 to 8, those are 4K. Now, this is very important now. This is very important. Yes, and I'm not here to explain the difference between 1080p and 4K, but, more bandwidth when it comes down to 1080p and 4K. So with the 2 HDMI, one can be for multi-view, one can be for program. It's very important. So if you're doing something for a client, nobody want to see you playing your game, okay? So that's why you have to give them the clean version. You got to pay attention as well. So we stick to the top one. We have a connection called the Ethernet connection. So anytime you do streaming, it's always good to use a wired connection instead of using Wi-Fi. However, ladies and gentlemen, the Yolobox Extreme, let me give them a clap hands for this. That's why the Yolobox Extreme, ladies and gentlemen, comes with the Wi-Fi 7. So as you can see, there's a little 2 antenna right here. What does antenna mean? That means, so with the Yolobox Extreme, so as long as I have a decent Wi-Fi, I don't have to worry about it. And I tried, it worked pretty good. I think, the fact they have those 2 antenna, that's made the company think about, hey, if I'm going to spend $2,000 for a device, hey, let's give those people something, something they can remember. Okay. So, and after the Ethernet port, the device comes with the 2 USB-A port. So the USB-A, one can be used for graphic, like this one right here. Okay. one can also use for the internet. So when we talk about the internet, we talk about the network bundling. So what does that mean, the network bundling, if you didn't know that? So network bundling is a very something very special. So especially if you do a lot of streaming, and the Yololiv company offer that they have an offer for network bundling. So what they do is they come by every internet you have around you. Let's say you get your Wi-Fi, you have your personal internet, okay, and with the device you can put a SIM card in it. So with the network bundling, anything you get around you, they put them together. Okay, they put them together to give you the best streaming experience. I think that is very important. That is magical, of course, and it doesn't cost a lot of money comparing to live view. To get network bundling with live view, have a special device. That's the device Fox 5 in Atlanta use, or 11 Alive. You talk about spending $400 for the internet alone, ladies and gentlemen. And last and not least, we had the a 3.5 millimeter jack. One can be used, for microphone, or if you get audio came from your the yellow the Woodcaster Pro, using the output on the back of the device, which is the 1/4 inch. Let's see, do I have a plug right here? You got the 2/4 inch right here. Okay, those are 2/4 inch. That's from the Woodcaster Pro 2. And you got the 3.5 millimeter jack. Okay, so that's what going to the line input. This is very important. However, with this device and using the best, one of the best way I find it, but that's very good. Using the Woodcaster Pro 2 and the Yolobox Extreme. On the back of the Woodcaster Pro 2, we got 3 USB-C. One for power, one for, that's the one you control the software when you plug it to your computer. The other one is the USB-C 2. That's the one you can get a USB-C from that USB-C plug to that USB-C input. Now we have 2 USB-C on the Yolobox Extreme, one for power. Be careful now, okay? One for power, and the other one is gonna be for the audio from the Woodcaster Pro 2, or that can be a cameras as well. Okay, okay. So if you're using any camera comes to USB-C, so you can pretty much use that as well. Those were the connection from the top, and hopefully I didn't forget anything. And on the back of the device, ladies and gentlemen, they also have one more connection, which is for the headphone. And we also have like a port for SD card, and we also have one for like cellular. Okay, so if you want to put a SIM card to it, and I think that is very important, ladies and gentlemen, to know what's going on. So again, my name is Westy Matherin. So if you just tune in, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to HMI ATL Tech. So HMI stands for the Haitian music industry. ATL short for Atlanta, and tech, ladies and gentlemen. And today's video is brought to you by the one and only the Yolobox Extreme. The Yolobox Extreme, made by Yololiv company. So they have several devices out there. The Yolobox Mini, they got the Pro, they got the Ultra, they got the Extreme, as the name say, Extreme. You got to understand what Extreme is. Now, I'll show you the back of the device, okay? So in the front of the device, there is a connection. There is something. The reason this is very important, and the reason that's very important for me, because I remember there were a lot of things I didn't used to pay attention to, like something like NDI. NDI been around since 2017. I never pay attention to it because I didn't think it was very important to pay attention to something like that. But the more and more I'm using the Yolobox Extreme, the better I understand the importance of using the NDI. Now, if you don't know what NDI stands for Network Device Interface. And I think someone made a video recently for the Yolobox Extreme. You can check it out on You can check it out on YouTube. On YouTube, where you can use, I think, up to 6 NDI with the Yolobox Extreme. So, of course, the image gonna be a little bit glare, so please forgive me. So I have see here, we'll get it here. Okay, so I have the device with me right now, but now the show I'm doing right now, it's not live. I'm recording the show. Okay, of course, because of the light, you can see a little bit glare. That's fine. But what is important is, as I'm doing the show, ladies and gentlemen, my face appear on the device. Now, in order for my face to be on the monitor, okay, so I have to plug a camera. But where that image come from? That image come from NDI. Okay, NDI stands for Network Device Interface. So with the Network Device Interface, um as I'm doing the show, I'm using the NDI. I'm using the Wirecast. Okay, so the cameras I'm using the PTZ Aptic Studio. The PTZ Aptic Studio. So as long the PTZ and your computer and your Yolobox Extreme is on the same network, so you're good to go. And of course, I'm using a device called PoE. What PoE stands for, power over the internet. So it is very important to have that little box, because what I do is I plug the PoE and I plug the camera like via like the internet port to the PoE, and the PoE I plug my internet to it. So everything come together. So, but this is why it's very important to have a strong internet. You have to have a strong backbone. You have to have a strong network in order for you to use the NDI. So overall, ladies and gentlemen, so again, let me go back to this one. So that's where you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. So for you can see what I'm talking about. And like again, with the glare, I still get a plastic on it to protect it. But with the glares on it, ladies and gentlemen, so you can see too, as you can see, every time I speak, okay, so you can see the audio meter. So the audio meter, that's because of the NDI. Okay. So the cameras I'm using, the camera comes with the audio in it, but I don't, for this video, I don't use the audio from the camera. I just turn it off. I'm using the sound from the Woodcaster Pro. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see with that device, you don't even need a monitor. This is I believe this is 10 to 12 inches. Okay. Hey, Frank Zoo, please forgive me, man, if I forgot. Okay. I'm just trying to do the overview. So Frank Zoo is the head of the marketing of the Yololiv company. So this is a great monitor. Okay. So I don't need monitors if I'm going to do a stream. So that's less stuff to carry, And what else this device can do? This device can do a lot of things. A lot of device cannot do image overlay. So if I want to add an image to while I'm doing a stream, or I want to add a flyer, and all I got to do just add the flyer on the thumb drive. So the device can do the lower third. If I want to write something, because you see the Yolobox Extreme. Okay, so I go on the computer, write the Yolobox Extreme, but with the device, I don't have to break my lower third unless there's a special graphic you're looking for. So I can go on the device, ladies and gentlemen, bada boom, bada bang. And also, like as you can see, there's a camera, plug it in, there's a little glare right here, but there's always a plus button next to the source where I can add source. So this device, I can add up to 8 cameras. So the same on the source, and they give you option for the images, PDF, live stream, SRT. So, and also don't forget the multi-view thing, like a PoE, PoE, picture in picture. You can split 2 people. So if you do an interview, side by side, and so on. So overall, like as I say, I just want to give you an overview about the device, ladies and gentlemen. So why the Yolobox Extreme is very important in 2025, because the technology we have right now, comparing to 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Imagine 10 years ago, 20 years ago, if we had something like the Yolobox Extreme, okay? A lot of you doing things for church or churches, a lot of you doing a community event. Like I have a friend of mine, BG family. Okay, next time the band is playing, man, guess what? I promise you, bro. I would bring my Yellowbox Extreme. I would bring my a couple cameras. Okay, so and in the Haitian community, we have a lot of bal. They call it bal, but most people call it concerts. So those are very important, and we have some of the best people. HOD, the Hood TV, in Atlanta. Not only the promoting the Haitian, one of the best Haitian media in Atlanta. We also have iSpace 2, one of the best place for podcasts. And I'm pretty sure, but by now they use Vimix. But imagine now, after this video, hopefully they can iSpace 2, I'm pretty sure they're gonna have a changing of heart or change of mind. So why we didn't buy the Yellowbox Extreme instead of rely on the Vimix, or and with Vimix, once you purchase the Vimix, they only got 1 year for update. Vimix only give you 1 year. That's it. Vimix only give you 1 year. Now Wirecast, what Wirecast does is you purchase the software. Of course, every year you can do a monthly, you can do yearly. So the advantage about that, you keep having firmware update. Anytime there is a firmware update, as long you keep using the Wirecast, so you're good to go. So with Vimix, and you probably get 2 firmware update or 3 firmware update for the entire year, and after that, that's it. So once you purchase it, it's good, which is good. But I would hope someday some company, what they do, you purchase it. Well, if there is a firmware update, okay, let's say you say, hey, you got 3 firmware update throughout the year. So after that, if there is a new firmware update that comes in, so you pay a little bit extra, and which is, to me, you already get the base, you pay a little bit extra, so you get to the entire year, you got the firmware update. So overall, like as I said, the Yellowbox Extreme is a production device, video production device, a video production device that comes with everything you need. So with the Yellowbox Extreme, you don't need to get a monitor unless you want to bring a big monitor. Like a guy like me, I'm getting old, so I may have to bring a big monitor. Okay, the Yellowbox Extreme comes with the HDMI, so all you got to do, plug and go. Okay, now if your camera happen to have audio, that sound good as well. But my advice, I would always tell people, you know what, bring your own audio, and based on what you do, your audio can be um uh the X32 X32, which is very important. And as we speak, ladies and gentlemen, like as I said, one of the best podcast studio we have in Atlanta, iSpace 2, we just installed an X32. Think about it. In most studio, they have a Woodcaster Pro 2, and Woodcaster Pro 2, you can only do 4 microphone. And in iSpace 2, with the X32, you can do 16 microphone. And if you want to add more, all you got to do, get your stage backs. You can get 32 input and 16 output. So again, overall, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm hoping that that video can change your mind. And there are a lot of videos on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure there are some guys who are here that probably do a better job than I do. So what I was trying to do today is give you little give you show you what that device can do, instead of me going to a lot of details. And you can always go to the Yololiv website, and there are a lot of ton of videos on YouTube. I can say, yes, I do have. I'm not going to lie to you. Do I have certain issues with the Yellowbox Extreme? Yes, and the reason I have a little bit issue with the Yellowbox Extreme is because I can be very impatient. But I can say to you what now. One of the thing I'm going to tell you what now, that this is my device. The Yololiv didn't pay me for this. They didn't send me that device for free, and I hope Frank Zoo is watching. Be patient. And I know a lot of people have that device. Be patient. Be patient. Because I want you to think about the device. It's like having an iPhone, having an Android. Sometimes when a firmware update comes in, when I'm going to receive mine, just wait. A lot of things take time. So be patient. But the one things I love about this device become like a reference. a reference for me. Why is a reference for me? Especially when it come down to NDI. I'll be honest with you. If that wasn't the Yolobox Extreme, I would never know what NDI is. So now, not only I can use NDI when I use Wirecast, okay, I can also use NDI for vMix. So now with the device right here, I can go somewhere. I set up something in the New York minute. All I got to do, have the internet, bring my PTZ Optic Studio, okay, and bada boom, bada bang. So in based on the environment, I don't even have to bring audio because the NDI can do the audio, and of course, you know the Rodecaster Pro 2. I believe there's a firmware update. They're working on something right now. I believe pretty soon we may end up having audio over NDI. So imagine I'm speaking on the microphone right now. I mean, I have to plug anything from the Rodecaster Pro 2 to the Yolobox Extreme. So I'm hoping Frank Zoo is taking note, or all the Yololiv team, they're taking note. So what can we do to improve the Yolobox Extreme better firmware? There's a lot of things I'm still waiting on. Animated the lower third, you know, some stuff I would like, you know, virtual virtual background, you know, like the Zoom, you know. But one thing I love about the Yololiv company, they listen. You know, some company don't listen. They just give you make you hear what you want to hear. They give you what they think is best. But the Yololiv, they listen. So hopefully with that overview, and I can definitely convince not only people in the Haitian tech community, understand is having a device like that and being able to set up your stream in the New York minutes. And last and not least, I forgot to tell you, by the way, with the device, you can stream on up to 3 platforms. When I'm talking about up to 3 platforms, we're talking about Twitch, people playing game. We talk about Facebook. We're talking about YouTube. So this is very important. This is very, very important. Stream up to 3 platforms. Of course, your internet got to be good. Do not blame Yololiv company if your internet is bad, or you can always get the network bundling. So, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully everything is well. And if you love what we do, all you got to do, don't forget, give us a great thumbs up, because you know we here to help. And the more we can help, the better. And as a community, I think it's very important to share knowledge. Knowledge is not only power, but hacking knowledge is power. And if you don't like to share, you know, I think that's very important to understand why we always gotta contribute something to the community, because you know, as people, and I think it is very important to always give something back to the community. Ladies and gentlemen, till the next time, as always, hasta la vista, baby.